Hello, it's me in the woods again. It's my birthday. Well, tomorrow's my birthday, and I decided to treat myself and took a trip staying with a friend in Campbell County, and I'm hiking the Cove Lake State Park. It's a beautiful little park, and it's right on the edge of a large wildlife management area called Wool Blue. And so 70,000 acres. I've hunted up on the mountain there for over 20 years. But lived in this area all my life, lived 30, 45 miles away and been here to picnic, but never hike the trails, and it's gorgeous. It's got a gorgeous lake. I'll throw some pictures in a minute. You can hear Interstate 75 zooms by, so even out in the woods and on top of the mountain, it's hard to get away from the sound of the interstate, but it's pretty rugged, remote. Actually, once you get up there and get in there, it's old strip mines, reclaimed strip mines, and logging up there, and it can be a pretty wild area. There's a pretty good population of Sasquatch that live up there. I've only hunting up there. My encounters up there have been handprint on the window, some weird sounds, stuff like that. Nothing. I had one trail me one time before I even knew really what Sasquatch was, and I thought it was another hunter screwing with me. But that's another story for another time. I tried to make this video the other day, and Lord, I watched the replay and I looked like death warmed over. I don't know what it was, whether I slept good, but I just looked bad. I thought, oh my God. And anyway, so thought I'd try again. Questions just keep popping up. There's new people come to my channel. This is a rehash, for those who followed me for a while. I get it. But you gotta understand, there's new people coming in all the time. Steve Ishdahl's been sending people over to me, still doing it. And so I'm getting people showing up and asking questions quite frequently. And people are people, they could scroll back into my video channel and find this stuff, but it's just easier. I'll just go over it again, and it puts it up to the top and people can find it. So the Dogman is a subject that keeps coming up. I'm not an expert. I don't research them, never did. It was one of those things where I was doing Sasquatch research back when I was doing it. Had a back trail camera. I caught one on the back trail. It snuck up behind me. And then a week later, or a couple weeks later, I went back in to try to put some hair traps up to get some DNA. Dave Pilates kind of said it'd be nice to have some samples. And like a dolt, I didn't think about it, and I didn't take anybody with me, and I had a face-to-face, or not face-to-face, but eye-to-eye encounter at about 40 feet of one. And those, I won't recount that story here, but you can find it in my on my channel. But so after that, and posting those videos, and the video of the one's pretty darn good. It's close, and it's got a little gray entity thing on the side of its head that no one can still figure out what that is. Some of the locals call them apple sprites. Some sort of being, gray hair, flesh-toned skin. But anyway, it's weird. The whole thing is weird. But Linda Godfrey is your expert on the Dogman, and I think she became expert by kind of writing an article about the Beast of Bray Road, and the rest is history for her. And I've even consulted with her, the lady's name, but there was a lady whose family home was surrounded by them. And she looked at my video and said, that's the closest I've seen to what we saw. So got independent verification on the video itself. And, but I kind of dropped into that, you know, Dogman expert thing, which I'm not an expert at anything. And like I said, don't research Dogman. I'm not saying I don't have footage of them and haven't seen them and haven't seen their tracks. I'm just saying I didn't go looking for them. They found me. So with that being said, I have done some research into the subject, of course. Wrote the book, Nephilim Among Us, which they're a part of. And so I, you know, have a little bit of knowledge here. I can share with you. And so, you know, of course, the first question is, what are they? And as far as biologically, they're some sort of human canine hybrid. Dr. Melba Ketchum has a full genome of a Dogman. She has not shared the contents. She has shared some brief overview on her Facebook feed. She's not shared any detail with me. Really. Sorry, I had a hiker. So she's not shared any details other than it has human mitochondrial, canine, and a mixture of other unknown DNA. That's all we know. As far as their description, they have their several types. There are obviously genetic diversity amongst these things, just like there are other Sasquatch and just like there is the human population. And so some of them look like your traditional werewolf. Some of them, they call the one I have a video, it's called a flathead. And that's because it has a wide flat head, ears on the side of its head, has a shorter snout that looks more like a pig's snout. You have one that looks very much like a German Shepherd as far as the face. There's another one that looks, I know that friends of mine have seen, person won't release the video, but they've seen really good trail cam video of one that's walking upright, has short little legs or arms, you know, more like canine arms, but it's, you know, the legs are elongated and it's walking on two legs, and it has like a husky-like face. And so there's that type. So, you know, there's all kinds of, you know, like I said, genetic diversity. The one I saw, I actually saw with my own two eyes, it had its arms, it had a head like a German Shepherd. It had a snout like basically take a German Shepherd head, maybe narrow down the nose and snout, narrow it down just a little bit smaller, come to more of a point. Sorry about the traffic. And put that head on a man torso. The chest was big, it was barrel chested. You know, it was big, you know, muscular chest. His arms looked like a man's arms, big, you know, muscular arms, but the hands looked like a raccoon's hands with claws on the end. And I only saw it from about the waist up. And it jumped up on a tree. There was foliage that I was walking through in this area. It was literally just like here, sometimes higher. And this thing wasn't any taller than I was. So what caught my attention was as I'm walking out of the corner of my eye, I see movement, and when I turned just in time to see it jump up into the tree. And he latches onto the tree on both sides. I'm assuming he's got his claws, his feet claws stuck in the tree. And then he's got his hands on both sides of the tree holding on. And he leans back. He hits the tree and he leans back and he's looking at me over his right shoulder like this. And I've got video of it. I tried to get video. It's very difficult. Very thick in there. It's weird what you can see clearly with the eye, but start trying to find it in the camera and it's like a mess. But it looks kind of weird because it just looks like this dog head thing floating in the middle of nowhere. And it's because he's leaning, he's got foliage right here on his right shoulder, and he's actually looking through at me, he's looking through leaves. So when he leans back, you know, you've got that guy passed me. I didn't even know it. I was so engrossed in talking. But anyway, it's fine. So anyway, he leans back and he's looking at me, and I tried to get a bead on him with the camera, and then I realized, oops, you know, I need to get out of here. It got real dicey, like I said, in detail. So that's what I've seen with my own two eyes, and so I know they exist. It's no doubt. And we have the DNA, and so, you know, this thing was very menacing looking. It looked at me with dead eyes. I've told people before it didn't have any life in its eyes. It's like you were looking at a mounted deer or something. You know how the eyes are dead. That's how it looked at me. Like, you know, I felt threatened, and I felt in danger for my life, but it never did do anything. But I sure felt that. And there are other accounts. I know Land Between the Lakes, there's a fellow that's come forward that appears to be very trustworthy, that talked about a family that got killed by a couple of them. So, you know, can they be dangerous? Yes, obviously. Do I personally know of anybody? No, other than that encounter. It's pretty famous. If you look it up, you can find it. So, the other question is, do I think they're Nephilim? Well, by definition, a Nephilim is anything that's... A Nephilim basically is a breathing, living creature that doesn't have a God-created soul. That means it was, you know, either the fallen angels procreated or did genetic manipulation to create it. Man possibly did some genetic engineering to create it. But basically, the Nephilim comes from the root word Nephal, which means the fallen, the earthbound, meaning their origin is from the earth. And they're fallen, they're less than human. But they still have will, intellect, and they have a soul. It's just not a God-created soul. So anything that's, any chimera or any of this crap that currently our scientists are cooking up in the laboratory, God only knows what they've made by now. But I don't think it's beyond the stretch of the imagination. I think they've been probably successful crossing humans with other things, just as in the days of Noah when they did that, and practiced the blending of species, man with animal. I think we're probably much, I'd say, we're there. And so what's running around the woods, you know, there's a long history of dog-headed people, and I'll post pictures. If you do your research, it's not hard to really dig. It's not hard to find accounts of these creatures. Excuse me. And so they're all through history. And then you have the werewolf legends in London, in Europe, and then over, of course, it follows over to the Americas. Have hundreds of sightings now, thousands of sightings, I'd say, in the United States. Have different types. You have, you know, here in Tennessee, you've got the flatheads and werewolf-looking ones. You got them all. You got the ones in Louisiana, the Loup LaRue. I mean, you got them everywhere. Bug flew right down my throat. Getting green. I don't have any water with me. Or at least it's at the truck. So, you know, so I think the Dogman is, you know, a Nephilim in that sense. You know, I think that prayer and rebuking and covering prayer, praying before you go out, it's always a good idea, protection from them. Can they be killed? Good question. Don't know. Probably. I mean, anything can be killed, cut its head off. But, you know, I think that's the key to these creatures that have the genetic ability to rapidly re-heal from wounds, you know, is that you have to take the head off. You have to cut their head off. That's how you kill them, or blow their head off. The damage has to be so substantial that, you know, the nervous system's destroyed, I think, to kill it. That's my personal opinion. But I wouldn't I don't know if I'd shoot one body in center mass of the body, for sure. And I'd make sure if I, you know, I know some people say if they saw a Dogman, they try to take it out. And why? I don't disagree with that, because I don't think they're not like a Sasquatch. They're not human. They're not human enough, I think. I could be wrong. They could, you know, they could be sentient. I don't know. They just don't look, you know, since they look like a wolf or a wild animal, you know, we think of it differently. The Sasquatch look like us, so, you know, we a lot, and their genome's similar to ours, so, you know, they're human by legal definition, they're human. And, you know, the Dogman, if you really, you know, of course it hadn't been tested in court because there's never been a case, but might be interesting to see how a court would rule if a hybrid creature has, you know, mitochondrial DNA is human. I mean, that's something I probably wouldn't want to put in a jury's hands or a judge's hands. Our current court system can't be trusted. And so I probably, as long as they don't threaten me, I'm leaving. I'm just backing out and going somewhere else. I think that's the proper avenue. The one I encountered allowed me to back out and leave and didn't attack me. And so I think that's probably the best course, but everybody's an individual. But, you know, be warned, Scott's telling you right now, I ain't going to guarantee you that a high-powered rifle will do anything. So, you know, you've been warned if you try to shoot at one. Oh. These woods are pretty clean, I think. I haven't felt anything in here yet, which is good. It's nice to be able to go hiking and not have the spider sense come on, knowing that I'm not being watched. So, anyway. So that's my 2 cents worth on the Dogman. On a personal note, you know, everybody knows I've been going, or had been, I'm through it now, but I've been going through some tough personal times, and that's all behind me now. Things are really looking up in my life. New adventures, new horizons, new relationships, new friends. God's blessed me. He's really blessed me, and He's bringing, you know, people into my life that are good and that care about me for who I am, and are genuinely concerned for me, and that's very special. And you know, want to protect everybody's privacy. My online life is separate from my private life, and these friends and these people that I'm, you know, are in the Bigfoot world, but I just want everybody to know, everybody that supported me, everybody that's prayed for me, everybody that's sent messages and been there with me and stuck, you know, been there to support me through this tough time. You know, I can gladly say it's over, and I'm busted through, and I'm back in the sunlight again, and my life's moving in the right direction, and things are looking great. And like I said, God's opened up new doors for me and new relationships, and it's really I'm really humbled by your support and by all the kind things that people say. It's humbling. A little note here: pray for my friend Dave Pilates. I'm doing this on August 27th, and if I am correct, I believe his son's birthday. Ben passed away. Birthday was yesterday. Dave needs your prayers. He's a good man. He's an honest man. He's a dear, dear friend of mine, and I love him. And he's suffering. And so, just pray for him. Say a special prayer for Dave. And continue to pray for me. Keep me in your thoughts. Hang on, I got somebody coming. Sorry about that. So, keep me in your prayers and thoughts. Keep our country in your prayers and thoughts. Steve Ishdahl, keep him in your prayers and thoughts. We're all, M.K. Davis, and the tons of other people that are trying to share the truth and doing the best they can. Just remember them, support them. Steve's got a bunch of stuff on his plate. People will email me all the time asking me about his plans, and since he mentions me, and I get it, but I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't have any privy information. Sorry. So, like I was saying, I don't have any special inside information. If you email me and ask me to get something to Steve, I'm sorry, I don't have any special email address that goes directly to him. He's a real busy man. We've not been in contact for a while. And so what I'm saying is, please don't, not that I don't appreciate it, but, people slip me emails all the time. You got to get this to Steve. Steve needs to see this. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I have no special access. We're friends. He's a good friend. And if he needed me, I'd be there in a heartbeat. But, he's a very popular guy, and he has a lot of friends. And so I just don't have, like I said, just because he mentions me on his channel doesn't mean I have how's a nice way to say this? Just because he mentions me on his channel and refers people to me for help, which I'm glad to do, and please contact me. I'll do the best I can. Understand I don't have any special inside pool. I can't slip an email to him and it just doesn't work that way. So, just letting you know so you won't get mad at me when I have to respond and say, look, you got just as good a chance getting his attention directly emailing than it is that I forward it to him. So, just FYI. And, but he's got a lot going on. Obviously he's got some big plans coming. I'm excited for that. And so we all work together. We do our own things, but we all work to a common goal on the same team. And we all take different paths, but same goal. Each of us have their own niche, their own personality. And, I feel like we're helping people by doing our own individual thing, and I think it's a good thing. I've got some people up here, so I'm gonna have to sign off for a sec. Okay, so with all that said, hopefully I've answered some questions about the Dogman that I've been getting, the common questions. You can email me at scott.e.carpenter@gmail.com if you have any questions or concerns. Just remember, I'll do the best to get back to you as soon as I can. I'm unfortunately one guy with a full-time job, so I try to answer 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. How many I can get to, but just be patient. Everybody be careful out there. Enjoy the outdoors, and pray for our country. Talk to you soon. it.